Hey guys, so about a month ago, I failed my driver's test, and that on its own isn't very interesting. But the thing is, the reasons for why I failed it, or the reasons that they gave me at least, are very, very suspicious, and it's honestly leading me to believe that there might be some kind of like conspiracy going on here, or like some kind of fail quota that these guys have to meet. And honestly, just I do not understand what's going on, because the thing is, like, in my state they changed it now so that like they don't tell you right after the test whether or not you passed or failed. They make you wait 6 hours and then have you go on this random website where it tells you whether or not you passed or failed, and it lists out all the mistakes that you made. But it's really not a good way of going about things, and I'll tell you why. Because if they told you right after the test, then you'd actually be able to hear from them like what exactly you did wrong if you failed it, and like they could actually like specify the things that like you should have done better. But here on the website, like, they give you a list of all the things that you did wrong, but it's like a bullet point list. And the thing is, a lot of these bullet points are extremely vague and just do not make any sense whatsoever in a lot of cases. And I'll show you the list that they gave me in just a second, but I guess I should explain actually how the driving test went down, because basically, like, it was about like 10, 15 minutes. The instructor gets in the car, and basically, like, they just tell me to, like, go, turn left, go here, turn right, do that kind of stuff. We basically just went around the block, and that was the entire test. And the thing is, at first everything was fine. Like, I was just driving along wherever the instructor told me to. I was following all the, like, road signs and stoplights and just, following the rules in general. At one point, the instructor tells me to do, like, a 3-point turn, so I do that really without any issues. And at one point the instructor does stop me and like says that like I'm braking too harshly, which personally I think that's really weird, because like in all the time that I've driven, like nobody has ever complained about my braking, so I'm not really sure what that was about. But basically, like, after that, a couple minutes later, I have to do the parallel parking. And here's where it gets kind of weird, because, like, they wanted me to parallel park behind only one car, which, I mean, normally when you parallel park, yeah, you have to park in between two cars, right? And every time I practice, I'd have, like, two chairs, and I try to park in between them, the way you're supposed to do it. And, there's all these tricks for parallel parking where, like, you have to, like, align the license plate with the center of your window and stuff like that. And obviously, that's pretty, like, helpful. But it's also helpful to actually use the back car as a reference, so you know when to, turn the wheel in the opposite direction, and like how to back up properly, basically. But in this case, when there's only one car and it's at the front, you don't have any reference at the back to go off of, and it just makes it really, really confusing. And I was actually like, I was trying to clarify first, like, wait, do you want me to park behind that car? Because there's no other car behind it where like I would be in front of that car. And the instructor was like, yeah, that's the right place. And I'm like, okay. But basically, like, so I'm driving in. I try to parallel park, but again, because there's no car at the back, like, it's extra confusing. And even though I was trying to like kind of maneuver my way in, I did end up hitting the curb because I didn't know when to start like turning my wheel in the opposite direction to like reverse in properly. And, at that point, that was already pretty bad. So I tried to, like, drive out and, like, redo it. But a couple of seconds later, the instructor stops me, and they're like, oh, wait, you're too close to the car in the front. Like, we have to stop the parallel parking. So, I stopped the parallel parking. I kept driving forward, like they told me to and everything. And, a couple minutes after that, that was the end of the test. And, frankly, I think throughout the whole test, the only two things that I messed up were, well, the parallel parking, as I just said, and I think maybe once or twice I forgot to use a turn signal. That's it, okay? But then, guess what? When I got back the test results 6 hours later, I get this list. And I mean, just look at this for a second. Half of this stuff I just do not recognize whatsoever. I mean, fails to signal, again, yeah, maybe I forgot to do that once or twice. But then something like fails to adequately observe / use caution. How would you even determine that? Like, are you, like, scanning my, like, the exact direction that my eyes are pointed at to see whether or not, like, I'm observing something correctly? Like, again, I'm pretty sure I looked out for everything properly, so I'm not sure what that was about. And I didn't, like, risk hitting anybody, so I'm pretty sure I was driving, like, cautiously. So, again, I think that part is just simply not true. Unable to park properly, yeah, that's the parallel parking. Makes sense. Excessive maneuvers, probably because, like, when I went in for the second time, that counts as, like, messing up the parking and using too many maneuvers. Then in driving in traffic over here, it says I had poor judgment in traffic, which
that's complete fabricated bullshit.
That's like literally the most ridiculous like thing you could write on here, because again, how would you determine that? How would you like do you like scan my brain waves to see like what my judgment process is or whatever? And you know what? Frankly, in my opinion, any judgment that doesn't crash your car is good judgment. So in that regard, I'm pretty sure, like, I did not do anything wrong. I do not, like, remember doing anything that would have, like, been, like, a bad idea in traffic or something like that. I'm pretty sure, like, I was being safe. I was, like, observing all the traffic correctly and, like, making sure that, like, I was doing everything in the most, like, safe and, like, proper manner. So, again, not sure what that is about. The bullet point right after that, like, fails to anticipate potential hazards. Again, I don't know how you would determine that, and, like, I don't know, maybe you just didn't see me anticipate it, even though I did. Like, maybe I just didn't tell you, but I actually did anticipate it. Like, how would you know that unless you're, like, scanning my brainwaves or something? Again, I literally just do not understand how that was determined, because that in my opinion is just flat out wrong. Vehicle control, delayed braking, yeah, the instructor did complain about that, but again, I do not, nobody has ever told me that I have bad braking aside from that instructor, so I'm not really sure where that came from, but okay. Poor steering control, I'm guessing this is referring to the parallel parking, but, you know, it would have been nice if they were a bit more specific about that, because, like, in terms of the actually maneuvering on the streets and everything, like, I'm pretty sure I did that fine, but I don't know, because they didn't say what kind of maneuvering, so that part is also pretty stupid. And then for the last bullet point, it says I was inattentive to traffic in terms of lane markings, which I just flat out do not remember being inattentive to those. I'm pretty sure, you know, I followed all the markings correctly. If I needed to turn left, I went into the left lane. If I needed to turn right, I went to the right lane. Like, you know, basically, I did everything that you're supposed to do. And for some reason, they still, like, wrote that I wasn't doing it correctly. So, again, I literally just do not remember that happening whatsoever. And here's the thing, again, because this is all just a bunch of bullet points on a website long after the instructor already left, I have no way of knowing what exactly they're talking about here and what I should improve. Because if the instructor actually told me right after and, like, actually explained to me what I did wrong, then I'd be able to, like, you know, generally speaking, understand, like, what exactly I need to fix. Because then the instructor could have said, yeah, so, like, over here you, like, messed up this particular part, like in this part where there was, like, the so-and-so situation, you know. But I didn't get any of that, because, like, they switched to this, like, online system which doesn't tell you anything. And in my opinion, it's extremely stupid, and they should just go back to what they had before, where they would actually, like, personally tell you. My friend actually had a similar experience where he also failed his driver's test, and when they gave him the list of all the things he did wrong 6 hours later, a lot of stuff on that list just was not true whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, one of the things they put on that list was that he had poor gear control in a car with an automatic transmission. Like, just explain that to me for a second. How can you have poor control over something that you are not able to control? Like, I just do not understand. That is so ridiculous that, like, I don't know, I literally have nothing to say about that because of how just absurd it is. That's like if you work as a cashier at McDonald's and your boss writes you up for having bad management skills. Like, you're not in a position where you're supposed to manage stuff. So that part, like, that's one of the reasons why I'm so suspicious about this. And I mean, just to be clear, I'm not, like, trying to flame my instructor or something, or, like, say that, like, this thing is, like, 100% definitely rigged. But it's extremely suspicious, like, based off of my experience and my friend's experience. Like, I feel like something might be up. But again, I could be wrong about all this, and I mean, maybe it's entirely possible that, like, this whole system with the 6 hours later thing on a website was put in because, I don't know, maybe people were arguing with the instructors too much after the test, so they decided to, like, not let you talk with the instructor afterwards and, like, have you, like, wait for a website to have the results on it. So it's entirely possible that they did this with, like, an actually good reason. But, like, I just personally think that the whole thing is very strange, to say the least, especially considering the results that I got. And frankly, I don't really know where to go off of this, because right now I'm actually in a different state for college, and, you know, I was thinking of maybe getting driver's lessons here, because I never actually drove at a driving school. Like, I would always practice driving with my parents, and I feel like, you know, maybe it makes sense to actually get an actual proper, like, driving instructor, because, you know, they actually, like, know their stuff very well, and they might be able to help me, like, prepare for the test a lot better. So, I'm looking to see if there's any, like, driving schools in this area. But the thing is, like, if I wanted to go to driving school here, I'd have to, like, go to the DMV again and, like, take the permit test again and get a permit for this state, because that's what you need to do in order to go to driving school here. So, I need to figure that out first, and, like, I don't even know if I want to do it, because, like, that means I'd have to, like, refill all my paperwork and, again, like, study for the permit test again and everything like that, and, like, wait in line at the DMV and stuff, and, like, just all the stuff that, you know, is pretty annoying to do and pretty time consuming. So it really depends. I mean, maybe I'll just, like, I don't know, take lessons back at home, like, I don't know, over winter break or something like that. So yeah, it's all kind of up in the air right now, but hopefully I'll be able to get my driver's license like within the next year. And yeah, guys, that ends today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy, please do consider hitting that like and subscribe button. As always, this is your captain speaking. Peace out.